SEO 的部分好，那 SEO 的部分来讲的话，为什么 SEO 这么重要？那 SEO 来讲的话，因为用户在找东西现在都还是基本上可以透过 Google 来搜寻找实际的产品嘛。那你说 ch105 呢 ？ch105 基本上它还是属于回话式的对话可是如果说你听它推荐什么产品、推荐商品，基本上还是比较办不到。OK， 甚至它基本都还是有差的。那甚至我们在找东西之前，还是会透过网站、透过虾皮、透过或是官网去找这些商品。原则上还是以 Google 为主。好，那SEO 来讲的话，这个之前有提过超过3成点击这样排序第一个6成会搜寻产品然后6成点击前3名，然后以及会将本地化关键字，然后以 SEO 来讲的话，成交超过1.14%，然后呢广告来讲在1.7%。好，那搜寻讲的检索因为用户有需求，他可能在 Google 上面搜寻，那透过这种检索工具，Google、雅虎、百度、Bing然后像这种东西跑到上面的地方，那这是属于广告。那下面这个自然排序。那当然，既然排序来讲的话，越上面当然越吃香嘛。为什么呢？因为据统计就是用户基本上超过90%一定要先点第一个前3名。好，那 SEO 来讲的话，这张图前面讲过了SEO 来讲，它面向还蛮广的那全名叫 Search Engine Optimization 这我们之前有讲过 SEO 跟 SEM 的差别。这个优化只是自身网站的优化。那 EM 的话 ，M 就是 Marketing， 就是基本上你可以做行销，其他的一些广告行销去占据你整个搜寻引擎的版位那事实上两个都可以并用啊。那搜寻引擎来讲的话，其实牵扯面向包括说策略啦、连结啊、社群啊、网站啊、设计啊、结构啊、追踪啊、结构啊、HTML， 然后关键字这个我们前面都有带过，然后排名内容经营，这个其实都涵盖在里面。其实面向其牵扯不单单只是排名这件事情。OK， 好，那刚才讲，据数据来统计来讲超过85%是透过搜寻引擎，用户透过搜寻引擎找到新的网站，去认识到新的东西的。那尤其前3页难怪超过90%的点击所以前3页如果看不到你的品牌，看不到你的产品，代表用户跑到竞争对手手上嘛好，所以 SEO 可以做什么？可以做品牌曝光、客户引流、销售转换关系维系，那以及它有长期好的品质的流量，可以分散投资风险，然后以及网站的体质，然后你比较不会被淘汰，然后这样来对你品牌形象会比较有提升，然后还有其他可能性的机会。那以2个比较来说SEO 跟关键字广告 ，SEO 的专业相对会再高一些。那关键广告来讲，就你要懂这个广告的逻辑吧 ，Google AS 的广告逻辑。那是否修改网站呢 ？SEO 来讲，现在会蛮focus 在你网站的体质的状况，体质不好你可能就要做调整。那关键广告不用，广告你只要着陆页就可以刊登的。那结束时间来讲，看到成果时间来讲 ，SEO 据统计你网站优化好，可能要半年到1年半。短则化区域型的广告，在3个月就可以上去了那关键广告就可能马上就可以立即见效，广告有预算投下去，马上就可以看到。那收费来讲的话，广告是按照点击付费嘛，那SEO点击是不用钱，可是你中间优化这个过程，你可能还是有一些时间人力的这个成本的投入好，那刊登期间来讲的话 ，SEO 就没有刊登期间除非你这个网站突然就是做不好，或是突然这个页面删掉或者是你的网站不见了才可能会不见那广告来讲，就广告结束的下线嘛。那点击跟流量品质来讲的话，这2个相对比较好的那 SEO 相对比较好的，然后广告相对比较低的。好，那我们先来了解一下搜寻引擎的运作原理。
Hi, my name is Matt Cutts. I'm an engineer in the quality group at Google, and I'd like to talk today about what happens when you do a web search. The first thing to understand is that when you do a Google search, you aren't actually searching the web. You're searching Google's index of the web, or at least as much of it as we can find. We do this with software programs called spiders. Spiders start by fetching a few web pages. Then they follow the links on those pages and fetch the pages they point to, and follow all the links on those pages and fetch the pages they link to, and so on, until we've indexed a pretty big chunk of the web, many billions of pages stored across thousands of machines. Now, suppose I want to know how fast a cheetah can run. I type in my search, say cheetah, running, speed, and hit return. Our software searches our index to find every page that includes those search terms. In this case, there are hundreds of thousands of possible results. How does Google decide which few documents I really want? By asking questions, more than 200 of them, like, how many times does this page contain your keywords? Do the words appear in the title? In the URL? Directly adjacent? Does the page include synonyms for those words? Is this page from a quality website, or is it low quality, even spammy? What is this page's page rank? That's a formula invented by our founders, Larry Page and Sergey Brin, that rates a web page's importance by looking at how many outside links point to it and how important those links are. Finally, we combine all those factors together to produce each page's overall score and send you back your search results, about half a second after you submit your search. At Google, we take our commitment to delivering useful and impartial search results very seriously. We don't ever accept payment to add a site to our index, update it more often, or improve its ranking. Let's take a look at my search results. Each entry includes a title, a URL, and a snippet of text to help me decide whether this page is what I'm looking for. I also see links to similar pages, Google's most recent stored version of that page, and related searches that I might want to try next. And sometimes, along the right and at the top, I'll see ads. We take our advertising business very seriously as well, both our commitment to deliver the best possible audience for advertisers and to strive to only show ads that you really want to see. We're very careful to distinguish your ads from regular search results. And we won't show you any ads at all if we can't find any that we think will help you find the information you're looking for, which in this case, the cheetah's top running speed is more than 60 miles an hour. Thanks for watching. I hope this made Google a little bit more understandable.
好，所以网络世界其实像一个不断成长的图书馆哦。那收藏虽然说多个网页，其实就所谓书本概念哦。那我们要去找这页面，其实跟去找图书馆找书的概念是一样。那 Google 就是一个这样的一个检索器哦。然后刚刚看到他写了一个爬虫去爬各大网站，去把它收录成索引哦。那我们可以通过这个索引，那规模已经超过1亿 GB 以上哦，然后去找我们想要找的这些内容。好，那它运作的顺序就是第一个分析字词，第二个比对结果查询，第二是排名，第四个是回传，第五个是考量背景资讯。那首先分析字词来讲呢，因为在输入他想要查的字眼的时候，它会辨识这个字词的用意啊，它用户的意图，比如说中文来说更换、兑换、调整哦，事实上有点像。那它如何辨识里面的这个差异哦？这个其实就是 NLP 啊，大型的这自然语言跟那个文艺的那个探勘、文字探勘哦的这个开发哦是有关的哈。好，那我们稍微来看一下它这一支介绍。
The Google search algorithm is made up of several hundred signals that we try to put together to serve the best results for each user.
Just last year, we launched over 500 changes to our algorithm. So by some count, we change our algorithm almost every day, almost twice over.
We really analyze each potential change very deeply to try to make sure that it's the right thing for users.
The first step in improving Google search is coming up with an idea.
There are almost always a set of motivating searches, and these searches are not performing as well as we would like. Ranking engineers then come up with a hypothesis about what signal, what data could we integrate into our algorithm.
We test all these reasonable ideas through rigorous scientific testing.
The first is with raters. These are external people that have been trained to judge whether one ranking is more relevant and higher quality than another.
We show these raters side by side for queries that the engineer's experiment might be affecting. We also confirm these changes with live experiments on real users.
And we do this in something that's called a sandbox. We send a very small fraction of actual Google traffic to the sandbox. We compute lots of different metrics.
In 2010, we ran over 20,000 different experiments. All the data from the human evaluation and the live experiment are then rolled up by a search analyst.
For each project, it's usually one analyst assigned from the moment that we're talking to the engineers, trying to learn about their change. And the impact is quite small, as you see.
We then have a launch decision meeting where the leadership of the search team then looks at that data and makes a decision.
That surely we should fix.
Ultimately, the goal of the search eval analyst team is to provide an informed, data-driven decision and present an unbiased view.
Okay, so not approved, the team will understand what's happening.
If our scientific testing says this is a good idea for Google users, we will launch it on Google.
For many years now, Google has been offering spelling suggestions for queries that contain typos or misspellings. So sometimes you'll type a query and you might see, did you mean, and then an alternate query. If you type a misspelling of your medicine and you don't click on the did you mean, you might be getting results that contain that misspelling, and they tend not to be high quality results. So we thought about a different kind of interface that we call full page replacement. And instead of did you mean, you'll see at the top of your page showing results for. And in the case that we made a mistake, there's another link, search instead for, and it has the query that you typed. We call that link the escape hatch. For every time a user had to click that escape hatch because the spelling algorithm made a mistake, we wanted to make sure that there were 50 other times that they got the right spelling suggestion and they didn't have to click the did you mean. And they were also looking to see in the live traffic data how often were users clicking on that escape hatch to make sure that the user signal that we get from live experiments was lining up with the signal that we get from our rater evaluations. We brought it to launch committee, and based on the rater evaluations and the live experiments, it was pretty clear that the engineers had done what they were supposed to do, and so we launched it.
When you align Google's interests with users' interests as we have aligned, good things happen.
We've put a huge investment into understanding what works for users.
Is this change going to help users not only in the United States or in English, but all over the world?
I think we get excited when we feel like we've hit on an idea that really helps a lot of users.
Users keep coming back to Google even though they have a choice of a search engine every time they open a browser.
好，那我们刚刚说它针对那个字词的那个测试啊，然后不断去优化。好，那接着会做比对说用户搜寻的字词之后呢，然后去到Google 的索引里面去比对，可能出现在标题啦、内容啊、相关的信号、关键字是有带到的，那就把它列出来。那列出来之后还会做排名，因为有些网站可能比较旧，或者网站可能都是 copy 别人，或者网站那用户体验不好，或者甚至可能更严重一点，网站里面埋了一些病毒代码那个木马哦。那它这边就有一个所谓的叫做网站管理指南。
Hello, I'm Michael, and I work on Google's search quality team. In this video, I'm going to discuss some key points of our Webmaster Guidelines, including syndicated content, thin affiliates, and doorway sites. Syndicated content is content that is copied from another website. Some sites copy content that stays on topic, but they don't add any of their own value. Other sites copy completely random and irrelevant content to increase their search traffic. Scraped content alone, even high-quality content, does not provide any added value to your users. Similarly, if your site participates in affiliate programs, make sure your site adds value and gives a user a reason to visit your site. An example of a high-quality affiliate site would be a bicycle blog with original reviews and commentary. An example of a low-quality affiliate site would be a bicycle blog that provides only copied product descriptions accompanied by affiliate links. The final category is doorway sites. Doorway sites are created purely to drive users to another website and often try to crawl the search results for a particular term or phrase. This provides the user with a poor experience, as more than one search result will ultimately lead them to the same site. A violation of our Webmaster Guidelines can negatively impact your performance in our search results, and in some cases, can even result in removal from our search results. Our primary goal is to serve users with high-quality, relevant information. These guidelines are in place to ensure a good user experience, so it's worth your time to give them a thorough reading. To learn more, please visit our Help Center resources. Thanks for watching.
好， 那这是品质指南。好，那他刚刚有提到一个东西蛮重要，就是如果说你网站内容都 copy 别人的，实际上就是你不是原创的，其实排名也不会很好了。这个其实从里面可以知道。好，那在刚刚有提到说比较更严重的，它还专门技术处理。那这边稍微看一下，它如何专门技术处理这件事情。
All right, today's question comes from the Bay Area in California, and the question is, just to confirm, does Google take manual action on web spam? Does manual action result in a removal, or can it also be a demotion? Are there other situations where Google will remove content from its search results? So I'm really glad to have a chance to clarify this because some people might not know this, although we've written this quite a bit in various places online. Google is willing to take manual action to remove spam. So if you write an algorithm to detect spam, and then someone searches for their own name, and they find off-topic porn, they're really unhappy about that, and they'll write into Google and let us know that they're unhappy. And if we write back and say, well, we hope in 6 to 9 months to be able to have an algorithm that catches this off-topic porn, that's not a really satisfactory answer for the guy who has off-topic porn showing up for his name. So in some situations, we are willing to take manual action on our results. It's when there are violations of our web spam quality guidelines. So if you search for quality guidelines, you'll find a web page that has all the stuff documented, and all of the individual stuff hopefully makes sense. It's essentially to avoid deceptive, manipulative, malicious behavior, the sorts of things that are fooling search engines, the sorts of things that are causing pages to be ranked higher than they should be ranked. And on individual items like cloaking or doorway pages or keyword stuffing, you can often click and get a lot more information, examples, find out why we don't like things like paid links or whatever. So the answer to your question is yes, we are willing to take manual action when we see violations of our quality guidelines. Another follow-up question was whether it has to be a removal or whether it can be a demotion. It can be a demotion. It tends to be removal because the spam we see tends to be very clear-cut. But there are some cases where you might see cookie cutter content that's maybe not truly awful but is duplicative, or you can find in tons of other places, and so it's content that is really not a lot of value add, those sorts of things. And we say in our guidelines to avoid duplicate content, whether it's on the same pages, like things like doorway domains might have duplicate content, whether it's across domains, so having lots of different domains with very similar or even identical content. So when we see truly malicious, really bad stuff, we're often taking action to remove it. If we see things that are still a violation of our quality guidelines, but not quite as bad, then you might see a demotion. And then the last question was, are there other situations where Google will remove content from its search results? So we do reserve the right to remove content for spam. Content can be removed for legal reasons, like we might get a DMCA complaint or some valid court order that says we have to remove something within this particular country. We're also willing to remove stuff for security reasons, so malware, Trojans, Trojan horses, viruses, worms, those sorts of things. Another example of security might be if you have like your own credit card number on the web. So those are some of the areas that we are willing to take action, and we are willing to remove stuff from our search results. We don't claim that that's a comprehensive list. We think that it's important to be able to exercise judgment. So if there's some safety issue, or of course things like child porn, which would fall under legal. But those are the major areas that we've seen would be spam, legal reasons, and security. And certainly the vast majority of action that we take falls under those 3 broad areas. But just to be clear, we do reserve the right to take action, whether it could be demotion or removal, and we think we have to apply our best judgment. We want to return the best results that we can for users, and the action that we take is in service of that, trying to make sure that we get the best search results we can out to people when they're doing searches.
OK， 好，那最后面的一个步骤呢，它就会回传到用户的手机端或是电脑端那基本上还是会看用户的这个专字网页载入速度那个其实都会考量进去。那最后面呢还会再考量资讯背景，比如说用户的背景，比如说他用户在美国或足球搜寻美国跟欧洲搜寻足球看的内容是不同的。OK 好，那这个是它的这个步骤那当然我们不是说被动的等 Google 去爬我们的网站才被收录我们也可以主动去提交给 Google 我们就用一个工具叫 Google Search Console 那待会我们会用这个工具 我们先稍微下课休息10分钟哦。那待我们回来的时候，我们来讲这个工具。好，来画面还给各位，先休息一下。